Hello. For tonight's story, I'm going to try something a little different. It's partly me talking about one of my, uh, basically, the I was, as a kid, yes, I was into comic books, but then I also discovered Dungeons and Dragons. So, and when I did that, it became an even greater obsession than than any comic books, except for the fact that also there was Dungeons and Dragons comics, but I didn't discover those until later. Um, Now, my original world that I created myself was I originally called it Islands of Malecade. Now, that if you say, well, what does that? What's Malecade? That's just a word name I get made up. So it's like Malecade. Islands of Malecade. I created hand drew maps where there's this world was scattered with tons and tons of islands, and eventually the world warped literally into something I called Warped World, where I expanded it and expanded it and expanded it, and it became full of the weirdest things you probably ever could have thought of in your life when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. But at a certain point, I became frustrated. I will say became frustrated. Um, Not so much with the design, but at the time I was living in a small little community, and my gaming friends were my friends, and we had a falling out. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. And after that, I took the information that was the world, the maps, and everything, and I tore it up and threw it away. Now, some of it managed to survive on floppy disks, old style, old style floppy disks that I had put down some of the details in those disks, including some of the characters. I didn't have the character sheets. I don't think anymore. I think I had some details, but not a lot. So years later, I decided I was going to revisit it and rebuild it. And now that campaign setting is what I call Time of Ages. And it has evolved and changed into a steampunk campaign for third edition. It was started out as a second edition world. Now it's a third edition world. I have really no desire to update it to fifth edition. But one of the original characters I created for it, I just simply his name was Spears. I wasn't very how I was a kid. I um, didn't really dawn on me that I should maybe come up with a last name or anything like that for him. But and Warp World, it became Islands of Malecade. Sorry, and Warp World, which now is Time of Ages. It was my first campaign world, and it is known as Rylun is the name of the world. So that's Rielun. Um, it might have had more names at one point, but that's the name that I use for it now. And Spearion was really the first character I personally created for the setting. Now, um, I think what I'm going to do is when it comes to the actual world itself, I will probably post, like I'll create a different um, video for that and sort of go into details. But this video is about me introducing Spearion. Now, this very short little story is actually posted on my Time of Ages WordPress. It's completely separate from my other one, and I will add it as a link in under the comment section and see if I can figure out how to pin it. But let me introduce you to the character that was named Spears, but is now called Spearion. He doesn't have a last name, and he never will. But here we go. Hillock high, I'm looking down at death gathered below. A swarm of angry goblins with bared teeth and blades. The smell of past bloody deeds fills my nostrils, the carrion of their past victims. I am alone with only the grandfather's spear and my simple shield to guard my skin. The sun is high, and the heat burnt away my armor days ago. So close. I can see the city in the distance, but it is more a mirage to the madness that has been trying to conquer my mind. Its high towers of steam stacks jut up from the ragged coast like a fearsome beast of Ryland's ancient past. Its massive iron-wrought walls loom in the distance, protecting the steam metropolis's populace from the wilds of Malecade. Green fields of safe haven beyond those massive wall mounts beckon me to run from the hillock. I cannot. The swarm encircling the mound would tear me to pieces if I ran. I must make my stand here. The goblins shout in their guttural tongue while banging bronze swords on wooden shields. They are protected more by their smell than their tattered garments. While they are weak when fought alone, they are deadly when gathered together. I steel myself for the onslaught that is to come at any moment. I know that they know my spear is considered a legend, and that my history are now tales of victory. I bellow at them in challenge. My voice rises into the air, primal, half human, half orc, child of the grandfather's people of the wildlands. My blood is strong and filled with the spirits of my ancestors. If I am to die today, I will make it a tale to be told for generations to come. The goblins finally come at me, hesitantly. They know my legend. They fear my strength. Yet they come with gnashing teeth and putrid blades. They swarm at me, first only a dozen, then 2 dozen. The hillock becomes a charnel of bodies. The piled dead become my shield wall. The goblins come to the last, mad with bloodlust. Sunset. There are no more standing against me. I am bruised and bloodied, my face is racked, and my body aches. After the last of the horde fell, I stand there unable to move or speak. Hours pass. Fatigue tears me to my knees. I pray to the high spirit of honor and to my grandfather. His spear lies next to me, shining. My legend will grow even if I tell no one what transpired. My ancestors will whisper it to the oracles. I stare out into the wilds of Malecade towards the distant coast where Da'afet stands in all its glory. I will see it for myself soon enough, after safety and sleep are found. That is my tale of Spearion. Now, as you noted it in the story, he's half orc, so half human, half orc. I know that goes against some of the what is currently considered. They've changed the game in 5th edition, so there's not really half elves and half orcs anymore. There sort of is, but I don't. Anyway, um, let me know what you thought of that story. Do you want to know more about Spearion? Um, I haven't really formed a whole lot more in my mind. It's like I said, it was a character that I created as an NPC. It was like a DMPC. And my friends had their characters, and there was a few adventures, but not a lot. But more and more, the character is something that I created for me, and that one character was the genesis of what has now become Time of Ages. And that story is now told as if the world was always a steampunk world. So, and I do have another one that I could do as another story, but it's a lot longer, and if there won't be any sort of preamble, I would just sort of say it, or I might even have to split it into 2 parts. So that is the Saturday night story for today. Let me know what you thought. Like, comment, subscribe if you wish, and I hope you are having a great evening.